Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasher here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise section. Of course, check out the blog section as well. We got fresh new merch over there dropping each and every month over there. And right now, we have the Takeaway 22 merch on sale, $19.99. All proceeds from the Takeaway 22 merch does go to the Kalahal Project to help soldier suicide prevention. It helps to raise awareness of that. All proceeds from now until the end of the year do go to that project over there. But guys, welcome to the Man Hour. Today is Wednesday, and that means one thing and one thing only: Way or No Way Wednesday, right here coming into your ear holes. We are going to talk about how the Giants might miss the playoffs. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills in a must-win situation. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions making the playoffs. What? The Lions making the playoffs? We'll talk about that. And of course, Deshaun Watson returning to the field this weekend versus the one and only Houston Texans. But first, it is time to get shocked. As you guys know, Deshaun Watson is returning to the field from his 11-game suspension earlier this season for the alleged sexual assaults that took place in Houston when he was a Houston Texan with the massage therapist. I think it's up to like 36 now women that have accused him or something like that. It's just out there, right? But the big thing that I want to talk about right now that is kind of getting underneath my skin. And when Combs sent me this, I was like, this can't be true. And I turned on to Fox Sports, and they were reporting it, and ESPN was reporting it, and NBC, and all those experts were reporting it. But the lawyer, the attorney that was representing these women in the sexual assault, bought a suite for the game. It invited all the women to come to the game. The Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns versus the Houston Texans. So, on first hindsight, basically all of them said, no, we don't want to go. We really don't want to care about it. But then there's like 10 or 11 that said they are going to go. They want to go and basically show that they're not scared of Deshaun Watson. So then I got to thinking, if you're not scared of Deshaun Watson, how did he pressure you into having, relations earlier, 3 years ago? How did he force you to give him a blowjob? How did he force you to jack him off if you're not scared of him? So this whole thing is just basically stupid, like, at this point. And then I got to really dive into it, and like, Combs, like, does this really make sense? And he says, and I quote, "This is harassment by the accusers to Deshaun Watson. They're basically saying, look at us," and they're going to harass Deshaun Watson. So I want to ask you guys this question. Those 10 or 11 women plus the attorney that is going to the game on Sunday in this sweet box and whatnot to basically say we're not scared of Deshaun Watson and we're still here. Is this okay? Is this assault? Because I feel like when you accuse somebody of doing something like this, something horrendous, like, hey, give me a blowjob right now or else. But I digress from that. I kind of don't think he forced him to do anything. But do you guys think that this should be allowed by the Houston Texans? Obviously the Houston Texans were trying to basically throw him under the bus. But should this be allowed by the NFL? Should this be allowed by the prosecuting team? Should this be allowed by the state attorney that is, I feel like there should be some type of no contact clause, and you can't be within 1,000 feet of my workplace or whatever, right? Like, I feel like something's got to be out there. Like, it has to be, right? I don't know. Guys, let me know in the comments what you feel. How do you feel about that? Do you think that these girls going to the game is a slap in the NFL's face or Deshaun Watson's face? Like, let me know what you guys think in the comments here. Alrighty, guys, so it is time to get into the man hour today. Way or No Way Wednesday is here, but before we get too carried away, we have to welcome some people into the chat here. We see Ethan Bennett in that chat. He says, yo, what is up, Ethan? Glad you could join us here tonight. We see Alpha Rob over here on YouTube. What's up, Alpha Rob? We see Drew as well popping in. What is up, Drew? Isaac, what's up, man? Long time no see. We see Isaac over there. Isaac Zittner, what is up, my man? Also got Isaac Hatfield popping in as well. Double Isaac tonight. Two eyes don't make a left or right or something. Whatever they say, right? Then we see my man Joey popping in as well. What is up, Joey? Hope you're having a grand old night. Over there, we got Nana popping in the chat as well. Hey, Nana, hope you're having a grand night. Stay warm out there. It got stupid cold here in Louisville. Well, it was like 59 degrees like last night, slash this morning. And then I got up, to get ready for work today. It's like 25 degrees outside. It is stupid cold. But guys, it is time to get into today's show. And this is, we see Casey popping in right there in the last minute. What's up, Casey? What's good? What's good, Casey? Hope you're having a good night, my man, as well. But guys, Combsy, of course, guys, it is Wednesday. So you're normally on Wednesday, we talk about how horrendous Brandon Combs' NFL power rankings are. And if you guys haven't seen them, they are not good, in my opinion. He had the 49ers out of it. He had the Commanders out of it. He had the Vikings above the Cowboys. Man, the list goes on and on and on, and people are upset about it. But Combs is like, you know what? I'm going to dodge that bullet. No, he got caught up at work. So Combsy, he'll be on tomorrow. So I guess we'll have to badger him about that tomorrow a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. But guys, let's get into some NFL playoff talk. Way or No Way is exactly what it is. You guys give us a statement and we simply answer if it's a way or if it's a no way. So how we are going to start off is we are going to start off with the game that is going on tomorrow night. The New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. As you guys know, they are both AFC teams, and right now the Buffalo Bills are sitting at 8-3, tied for first place in the AFC East. The Patriots are sitting at third. I believe they're at 6-5. I think it is. I didn't look up their record. But way or no way, guys, the Buffalo Bills do not win the AFC East. So as you guys know, like I just said, they're tied for first place with the Miami Dolphins at what is the record? They're both 8-3. So the Bills haven't won a game in the AFC East this year. They have losses to the Dolphins and the Jets, respectively. This is back when the Jets were, something. Right now they're like, wow, we don't even know if they're any good or not. But when we look at the schedules moving forward, there are some very, very key games coming up for both of these teams, and that does require a head-to-head game coming in about 3 weeks. So I feel like the first team to 11 wins is probably going to win this division, if not 12. So right now, the Buffalo Bills do play the New England Patriots on Thursday night. Unfortunately, I am going to pick the New England Patriots to win this game because it's a short work week. They're at home. The Patriots are at home, and the Bills just seem like blah, right? Like, I'm not for sure what exactly is going on with Buffalo right now, but this is a division game. The Patriots need this win. So yeah, I'm picking the Patriots. And then the next week they play the Jets. The Jets are kind of a team like we don't know what the hell they are at all. Mike White is starting for the Jets right now. Zach Wilson is a bench for the foreseeable future. If Zach Wilson does play, Robert Saleh has officially lost that whole locker room because you cannot bench a starting quarterback and then bring him back a couple weeks later. That just doesn't work like that. Once you go with a backup, you have to stick with the backup for the rest of the year. But I am going to give that win to the Jets. And then this is the key matchup. I think this is the game that is for all the marbles at the end of the day. The Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are pissed off that the Dolphins beat them earlier, week 2, right? They are mad, they are cranky, and they're going to win that game. They are going to flex on them. Then they play the Bears. That is a win as well. And then 2 pivotal games to end the season. The Bengals and the Patriots. Right now, guys, the Bills are on a 3-game winning streak. They have 11 wins on the season, so they have to at least win one of these games to probably even be in conversation. I think they lose to the Bengals and they beat the Patriots week 18. Giving them what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 wins. So they're sitting at 12-5. Right? Sounds right. Yeah, 12 and 5. Then let's flip over to the Miami Dolphins side of things. This team is hot. They are playing well. Tua is playing at an MVP level. Tyreek Hill is playing at an MVP level. Waddle is kind of flying under the radar, still putting up his numbers. That Wilson Jr. trade from the 49ers has been kind of sneakily very, very good. And I'm glad we brought the 49ers because that's exactly who they play next. They travel across the country to play the 49ers, a very, very hot 49ers team. The 49ers are... They're good. They're good. They beat the Miami Dolphins. Then they play the Chargers. Chargers are getting better. They're getting healthy. Bosa's back. Mike Williams is back. Keenan Allen is back. Look out for them. They lose that game as well. And then obviously they lose to the Buffalo Bills. So they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. With that being said, the Buffalo Bills win this division. It doesn't matter what they do for the rest of the season. I mean, they'll beat the Packers, they'll beat the Pats, and they'll beat the Jets. They will win those last 3 games to end the season, only giving them 11 wins. So with that being said, way or no way, do the Buffalo Bills win the AFC East? That is an absolute way. They are going to win the division at 12-5. The Miami Dolphins are going to struggle the next 3 weeks. These next 3 big weeks that are basically very crucial for them. If they win 1 out of those 3, they might have a shot. Head-to-head tiebreaker, yada yada. I'm not for sure how how that works right now, but the next 3 weeks are very critical for the Miami Dolphins, but they shit the bed. I like the Miami Dolphins, but they're not there yet. They're not there. You have to learn how to lose before you can, or you have to lose before you can learn how to win. And the Miami Dolphins, they're just not that good. Let's just be honest. Jacob over here at YouTube.com says, I don't know who will win tomorrow. I can tell you who is going to win, and it's going to be the New England Patriots, unfortunately. Sorry, Jacob and Alpha Rob. I know those are your boys, but I think the Patriots have the Bills' number, and they're going to win on Thursday night. But the Bills do win the East at 12-5, and the Miami Dolphins come sneaking in at 11-6. All very respectable, but not good enough to dethrone my Kansas City Chiefs. You guys aren't be able to get one of these, baby. Won't be able to get it. Jacob Sanders says, I don't know if they will because Allen is playing while injured. You are exactly right on this, Jacob. He has been injured since, this is his 3rd week since that elbow thing. The UCL, right? I mean, luckily for them, they do play Thursday, so they have an extra 3 or 4 days off before they play the Jets. And maybe, just maybe, they can get that elbow right. But it is what it is. So guys, moving on to the next way or no way.
No way. Yes way.
The next way or no way, we're going to stick to those playoff predictions here. Can this team make the playoffs? Can that team make the playoffs? And we are going to head over to the NFC East. In the New York Football Giants. Guys, the New York Giants has started hot. They were 6-1 to start the season. Many people were like, whoa, where did this team come from? They're killing it. They're doing this, and this. Last 4 games, they are 1-3. Giving them a 7-4 overall record going into the latter half of the season. So way or no way, the New York Giants make the playoffs. When we think of the New York Football Giants, we never think of like a really, truly dominant team, right? We always think of that team that happens to get hot at the right time, sneaks into the playoffs as a 6 or a 5 seed, and they make some noise, right? The last time they won the Super Bowl, they beat the Patriots week 18 to get into the playoffs, and then they dethroned them in the perfect season, right? Like, they snuck in there, and they got hot at the right time. Right now, they are cold as ice. 1-3 in their last 4, and it does not get any easier for them at all. Looking forward at their, like at their games. First things first is they have 4 division games. 2 against the Commanders that are blowing people out of the water right now. Like, where did this team come from? And then the Philadelphia Eagles, which is arguably the best team in the NFL. Per Brandon Combs, are number 2 in his power rankings, but I digress from that. So, and then they sprinkle in a little bit of Vikings in there, a top 3 NFL team, and then the Colts. The Colts are sneaky good, right? They've beaten the Chiefs, they battled with the Eagles, and then they shit the bed versus the Steelers because, poor clock management, whatever you want to say. But Jeff Saturday has that team playing good, playing expired football. So, right now, they're 7-4. NFC East could get all 4 teams in. I feel you have to get about 10 wins right now to get into the playoffs. So let's see if they can get 3 more wins in their last 6 games. They play the Commanders this week. That is an L. The Commanders are playing very, very good football right now. They play the Eagles. That's a loss as well. I don't see the Giants sneaking up on the Eagles at all. It's just not going to happen. The Eagles are clicking and the boom, 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 right? Then they play the Commanders again. I might give them this win because it is hard enough to beat a team twice in a year, if not 3 times in a year. But in these back-to-back week games, I know it's not back-to-back, but the way the NFL does this really irritates me because you have 18 weeks to sprinkle in these division games. And they do Commanders, Eagles, Commanders. Why couldn't they play the Commanders week 1 or whatever? But whatever, I digress. They sneak out a win. The Vikings. Let's say somehow they beat the Vikings. Let's give them that dub. Right now they're sitting at 9 wins. Respectable, winning season, right? No, they're not going to beat the Vikings. Come on, what are you guys thinking? That is a loss. They lose to the Colts and they lose to the Eagles as well. Guys, right now, the Giants are 7-4. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but my head is telling me, my gut is telling me, it is not going to happen. I have them 1 win versus the Commanders, and I don't think that is even going to happen. Give them an L there, guys. I think the Giants are going to lose their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games of the season, making them finish 7-10, a losing record after starting the season off 6-1. The Giants are not going to make the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting at the number 7 seed. The Commanders are hot on their tails. Who else is hot on their tails? The Seahawks are hot on their tails. The Falcons are hot on their tails. Hell, even the Detroit Lions are hot on their tails. The Giants are not going to make the playoffs. So to answer that question, will the New York way or no way will the Giants make the playoffs? No way. No way they're going to make the playoffs. They're not even going to win a game for the rest of the season. 7-10 for the New York Football Giants. 6-1 was great. 6-1 was great. 1-3, the last 4 was even worse. What's up, dude? Hi, Nux. Boom, baby. But 7-4, going into our last 6, finish out 7-10. Sorry, Giants fans. It's just not going to happen this year. Get out of here with that crap. I see more people popping up in the chat over here. I see Drew. What's up, Drew? Glad to see you popping in the chat tonight, my man. Drew, what is your profile picture? It's not even showing. That's weird. But Alpha Rob on the Giants, will they make the playoffs? He says no way. Absolutely. Jacob says no way what? So Jacob, this is no way or no way Wednesday. So we ask a question, and if it's going to be a way or a no way, interact with us in the chat, man. It is good times. The Giants don't have enough offense. They are going to fade. Absolutely correct. This has been the old Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones show at the end of the day. It is what it is. True, it's really just Barkley and Jones. Right? Yeah, exactly. Like hell, their top receiver, Kenny Galladay, is he even there? Like, it just, I mean, he might be physically there, but is he mentally there? Like, he is just like, yeah, whatever. Like, it is what it is. I don't know. But, yeah. It is what it is. Hey, Trip, be careful, buddy. So, my middleman decided to come in and hang out with us. So, if you guys randomly see a baseball come flying up, we're just playing catch. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. But, guys, this is Where No Way Wednesday. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to whatever platform you're listening to us on Facebook or YouTube. Or if you like the podcast form, you can check it out on Spotify and iHeartRadio as well. We are up for another award on iHeartRadio podcast there, the NFL podcast of the year. So if you guys, voting will start, I believe it's next week when voting starts. I'll put the link in the description, and we'll go from there. So moving on to the next, no, what are you doing, dude? Don't touch. Going on to the next way or no way of the night. Oh, play that intro, man.
No way. Yes way.
Yeah, well, Trip's in here too. Now we got both boys. All right, guys. So the next way or no way of the night, we are going to stick on the NFC side of things and play a pitcher. And the Detroit Lions right now are sitting at 4-7. They're 10th in the AFC or the NFC playoff picture. They are sitting behind the Falcons at 5-7, Seahawks at 6-5, the Commanders at 7-5, and the Giants at 7-4. The Commanders and Giants are both in right now with the Seahawks, Falcons, and Lions all on the outside looking in. So the Lions have kind of got hot, guys. They won 3 games in a row, and then they lost on Thanksgiving Day to the Buffalo Bills, right? Very, very good game. Josh Allen finally come back and won a close one. Good job, Alpha Rob and your boys. But way or no way, the Detroit Lions make the playoffs this season. So as you guys already know, we just talked about the New York Football Giants. They're sitting at number 7 right now at 7-4. I don't think they will win another game for the rest of the season, so they're out. So let's just go ahead and cross the Giants off the list. So by facto, that moves the Commanders up to 7. That moves the Seahawks up to number 8, and the Falcons at 9, at 8, and then the Lions at number 9. The Falcons. Does anybody want to win a game in the NFC South? Let's just put it out there. Does anybody want to win a game in the NFC South? Answer to that question is no. Falcons, cross them off the list. Bada bing, bada boom. So right now we are in a 3-team race. 4-7 Detroit Lions, 6-5 Seattle Seahawks, 7-5 Washington Commanders. I think the Commanders are in. The Commanders are playing really, really good football right now, and they probably lose 2 of their last 6, right? They are just playing good football. They're getting healthy. I'm not for sure if Chase Young is coming back yet or not. I think he had to be by this Tuesday to get him off the IR. Me working nights for the next couple weeks. It's kind of, messing with my news stories here. But right now, it is between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, they have a 2-game lead. So let's look at the Seattle Seahawks schedule moving forward. Sitting at 6-5, they're playing the Rams this week. I know what you guys are saying right now. The Rams don't have Matthew Stafford. Aaron Donald is going to miss his first career game. Cooper Kupp is out, and the list goes on and on and on. But do not sleep on the division games here. Do not sleep on them. I'm going to chalk this one up for the Rams. So the Seahawks are now get that first loss. Then they play the Panthers. The Panthers, I'm actually going to propose a question of the day tomorrow right here on Facebook.com/manhour. Did the Panthers mess up by sitting Baker Mayfield? And I was reading a story, and it makes freaking sense now. They sat Baker Mayfield because they don't want to give a Browns a 4th-round pick because he was supposed to play, 60% of the games or snaps or something like that. They get a conditional 4th-round pick. That's not going to happen. So they do beat the Panthers going into that week. 3 weeks from now, they play the 49ers. That is a loss. They lose to the Chiefs as well. Then they play the Jets. Give me a loss versus the Jets. And then they beat the Rams to end out the season, giving them a 8-9 record moving forward. So 8-9 is respectable. It is a losing record, but the last time the Seahawks had a losing record going into the playoffs, what did they do? They ended up going to the Super Bowl, right? Are they going to the Super Bowl? Let's just simmer down now. Simmer down now. This is about the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about the Seahawks tomorrow. Slow down. So the Detroit Lions are sitting at 4-7 right now. So they need at least 5 wins to get into that number 7 seed, probably with some help as well. Let's see who they got up next. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars next. This is going to be a good game. The Detroit Lions versus Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a very, very good game. We saw what the Jacksonville Jaguars did against the Tampa Bay, or not Tampa Bay, but the Baltimore Ravens, right? Trevor Lawrence finally came into his own. Excellent pass in the end zone. They went for 2. This team loves Doug Peterson, and they're rallying around them. So give me a loss for the Jacksonville or the Lions versus the Jaguars. Then they play the Vikings. Man, I believe this game is at Ford Field. I should have wrote home and away. I did not. But the Minnesota Vikings versus the Lions is always a good game. People are still kind of down on the Vikings, and I get why. They do have a lot of flaws in their game, but this is TJ Hawkinson's first game versus this older team. They're probably going to try to force him the ball a little bit. Let's take Hawkinson out. Give me the win versus the Vikings. Then they play the Jets. That's a win. They play the Panthers. That's a win. They play the Bears. That's a win. And they play the Packers. That is a win. So 5 wins 5 of their last 6 to get into the playoffs. But that gives them 8-9 as well. Wow. 8-9 versus 8-9. Both losing records, but both battling for that 7th spot in the NFL or in the NFC playoffs. So no way the Detroit Lions get into the playoffs? No way. Unfortunately, even if they were to do 8-9, just like the Seahawks moving forward, the Seahawks win the head-to-head tiebreaker. I did the playoff predictor thing, and I don't know the exact reason, but they do win the head-to-head tiebreaker on on that. So the Lions, very successful season, very successful second half of the season. 3 games in a row, lost to the Buffalo Bills, lost to Jacksonville, but then 5 wins in a row to finish out the season. Wow, that is freaking awesome, right? Whoever thought the Detroit Lions would win 5 games, period, on the season, let alone 5 games in a row to end the season. The Detroit Lions are up and coming, guys. Just this year is not their year to get into the playoffs, and unfortunately, it is going to be a no way for me. So before we move on to the next where no way of the night, we do have to answer some questions that are popping up here. Kenneth, Jimmy G is still going to win a Super Bowl this year? LOL question mark. So, Kenneth, Jimmy G is a winner. Let me get the no way off there. And the way. What am I doing? Jimmy G is a winner. Every time he plays a complete season for the San Francisco 49ers, they go to the NFC Championship game. Somebody told me that the Jimmy G has the worst playoff record ever. You guys realize he's 5-2? 5-2 in the playoffs. Those 2 losses, NFC Championship games. 1 versus the LA Rams, the Super Bowl champions from last year. And then the previous one, I'm not for sure, but it was in the NFC Championship game. Who would that have been? I'm not for sure. I can't remember. But, and then we look. Guys, do you guys realize that the San Francisco 49ers were a couple plays away from being a dynasty? Let's flash back to 2019. This year, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. If Kyle Shanahan would have continued to coach his game and not try to outcoach Andy Reid, they would have won that game. we've been talking about San Francisco 49ers dynasty. Trey Lance wouldn't have been on the 49ers. Like, it is what it is. Like, Jimmy G, if they make it to the Super Bowl this year, and it's not versus the Kansas City Chiefs, they will win the Super Bowl. So will Jimmy G win a Super Bowl this year? Yes, if it's not against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have the 49ers number. It is what it is. And then Kenneth says, I don't know about the Commanders over the Giants, LOL. I'm not for sure if that LOL is supposed to be like a sarcastic, like the Commanders are really good, or you actually really think the Giants are going to beat the Commanders. Which, they play this Sunday, right? Let me get back to my notes. Yeah, so they play this Sunday. It's going to be a good game. I mean, the NFC East is loaded, right? They're all playing semi-good football right now, except for the Giants. Do the Giants bounce back versus the Commanders in this division game? I don't know. I doubt it. But I don't like the Giants over the Commanders. I'm picking the Commanders over the Giants this week. Go back over here. Drew, back to our Detroit Lions, way or no way. He says Detroit Lions make the playoffs. No way. I mean, Jacob says, I mean, they did keep it close versus the Bills. Absolutely right. I feel like the Lions probably should have won that game. Jacob says the Commanders, I think they'll go 10-7 or 11-6. Yeah, guys, I think the Commanders are a lock in the playoffs right now. They're playing way too good football right now to completely fall off the map. Like, it's just like, I just don't see it happening. And the second loss that the 49ers or Jimmy G had in the playoffs, Jacob says he thinks it was the Bucs. It would make sense. He's only good with the number one receiver. I'm not for sure who you guys are talking about. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers done? Aaron Rodgers is supposed to play on Sunday. Apparently, he got good news about his ribs. I saw the Matt LaFleur post-practice conference before I jumped on air, and he practiced today, apparently. So he is good. Kenneth says, I am a Commanders fan. Giants are a sleeper, but they have no wideouts. Yeah, the Giants are strictly they remind me of the Cornhuskers back in the 90s, right? Option left, option right. I mean, granted, they do pass the ball a hell of a lot more than the Huskers did, but pretty much is like, how much can my quarterback and running back run in a game without you guys stopping it? And that's exactly what they are. Vikings will clinch the NFC North this weekend, says Scott. You know what? I don't know who the Vikings play, but I believe all they have to do is they have to like win whoever they play, and the Lions have to lose, right? And they have it clinched, right? I mean, let's just be honest. The Vikings can literally not win a game for the rest of the season, sitting at 9 wins. The Lions can win out and get 9 wins, and the Vikings still get the division. If somehow, some way, the Packers come in and win this division, Vikings fans, you guys just need to change your colors to green and gold, because Aaron Rodgers owns you guys too. Let's just be honest about that. Casey popping in with a question here. Did the Chiefs game get moved from primetime because the NFL don't want to suffer through another Russell versus Broncos? That's a very good point. Or what, they flexed them with the Miami 49er game, right? I mean, so as you guys know, or if you haven't heard, the Chiefs versus Broncos game was supposed to be Sunday night. That got flexed to a 4:05 game, and I believe it got replaced with the Miami 49er game this weekend. So let me ask you this question. Would you rather watch a struggling Denver Broncos team that hasn't won a game in 6 weeks versus a Chiefs team that should dominate the crap out of them, or a 49ers versus Miami game? Me as a Chiefs fan, if I don't get the Chiefs game on my CBS channel, I'll be very, very pissed off, but I would rather watch the 49ers versus the Miami Dolphins on Sunday Night Football with my feet up, kicked off, having a good time. And quite frankly, Casey, I am so sick of the Denver Broncos having primetime games. What this would be like? What if they were to play this, would be like their 5th primetime game. Hell, was it the first 3 or 4 weeks they were on every primetime game, like Thursday, Monday, Sunday night? Like it was like Broncos, shove this down your throat, eat it, love us. No, y'all suck. Y'all suck. Drew says, I agree with you, Buck. Whoa, shit. Is hell freezing over? Let me take a look outside. There's devil out there. Jacob says, good night, everyone. Good night, Jacob. Hope you have a great night, man. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And then Casey says, I like watching the Broncos suffer. Casey is a Chiefs fan. I like pretty much anybody in the NS or the AFC West suffer. Because people were so down on the Kansas City Chiefs all season long, like, oh, they're going to be the worst in the division. The Chargers are coming. The Raiders are coming. The Broncos are coming. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Red Kingdom, as I like to say, with my man, Tech9. Drew says it's effing cold. Here in Louisville, Drew, it's like 25 degrees with wind chill like 19. I'm going to get out there. This man-hour little puffer jacket that I got is going to cut right through me. I should probably get a old, the Carhartts out. But guys, the last way or no way of the night here. Before we wrap it up, I was going to end it, but I forgot about the main topic of the night. I mean, we already talked about how good the Buffalo Bills are going to be. We talked about the Giants. We talked about the Detroit Lions. Hell, let's talk about Deshaun Watson. Guys, let's talk about Deshaun Watson. He has not played a NFL regular season game since 2019. Missed all of 2021. He has missed all of 2020. And he has missed 11 games so far this season. However, the NFL is buzzing about his return. They're like, hell yeah, let's get this baby back on the field. Let's win some games. Let's get these ratings up. Let's sweep this assault shit under the rug. Like the Alvin Kamara thing. Right? Where did that thing go? But we digress by that. But the question, where no way does Deshaun Watson play bad in his first game back? So when we think about this, guys, Deshaun Watson hasn't taken a regular season NFL snap since 2019. He has missed 2 full seasons of football. Yes, he did play a little bit of preseason games. He looked aight, right? But does he play bad coming back? He's playing his former team at Houston. Guys, this is a way. Anytime you play a former team or former coach or former player, you always try to one-up the guy, right? I coached against my old high school team that I coached for 5 years, and I switched schools. And I wanted to beat the dog piss out of him. I wanted to slide him up and down the field. I wanted to run the score up on him. I wanted to beat him 100-0. Not because I dislike those guys. Not because I dislike the kids. Not because of this, and this. It is because I wanted to show you, like, hey, I'm the man. You guys are going to miss me. And that is what Deshaun Watson is going to do. He's like, hey, I'm a top 5 quarterback in the league. You guys are 1-8-1. You guys miss me. And this is why. He wants to put up 400 yards passing. He wants to score 7 times. He wants to run the ball. And he's going to try to play himself. And 9 times out of 10, when a player, coach, whoever tries to do more than who they are, you just don't do that good. And unfortunately, Deshaun Watson is not going to play that good. This is a definite way. Casey says yes. Kenneth says yes. Drew says yes. Like, Alpha Rob says yes. Like, I mean, everybody is kind of expecting him to play bad. Not because he's a bad player. Not because the Houston Texans are a good football team. It is a combination of 3 or 4 things. Combination of 3 or 4 things here. Rust. The excitement of being back on the field. The excitement of being back on your home turf, right? And then there's 11 girls up in the stands. They all seen your wanker. let him see it again. No, I'm totally kidding. But yeah, he will definitely not play well this game. I do think the Browns win. Like, I'm not predicting an upset by that any means, but I do think they do win. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. But let's get into some of the comments here before we head head out. Casey says the Browns weren't built around him. He hasn't played in a long time. Doesn't he have a rep in live games with the team? I see benched at halftime. Okay. So Casey, Deshaun Watson did play all 3 preseason games for the Browns this season. As they're not, quote, built around him, Deshaun Watson is a pass-first quarterback, and with the scrambling ability, unlike Lamar Jackson, he has a very, very good arm. The Browns are a really, really good team. They're probably a quarterback away. I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett was bad, but he just isn't the guy. You cannot bench a $250 million $230 million guaranteed quarterback, especially in his first game back. Now, if the Browns were undefeated, he probably wouldn't even be seeing the field, to be honest. But the fact is, the Browns are 3-7 this year. They're not really in a playoff hunt. They're just looking to get right for next season. So he definitely does not get benched, Casey. Sorry to say, but he does not get benched. Vikings versus Jets, says Scott. What do you think is the matchup between Sauce Gardner and Justin Jefferson? So first things first, Scott. Sauce Gardner is a very, very good quarterback. However, he is not exclusive on the number 1 guy. He stays on the left side of the field, and whoever is over there, he will guard that particular person. If the Vikings are smart, they would put Justin Jefferson on the other side of the field repetitively, because Sauce Gardner has something to prove, and why not prove it against the best receiver in the game right now? Now, if they were to go to head-to-head every play, I would probably give it to Sauce Gardner. I like what he is doing right now, but the fact that they won't mean it's kind of a minute point, unfortunately, Scott. So back to the Browns, Houston. Kenneth says the chemistry isn't there. You're exactly right, Kenneth. There is no chemistry in live rep games with the Browns right now. However, he has been practicing with them since October. So a month and a half of practice, not terrible, right? Not terrible. But Drew, let's pop up your comment here, Drew. I can't pop up Facebook comments yet, guys. I can only do YouTube, so bear with me as I figure that out. Drew says, if they made that jacket in my size, I'll look like the Mitchell Man who ate blueberry candy on Willy Wonka. Oh, come on, Drew. You're better than that. Wow. Alpha Rob says, Watson plays bad. He not used to the NFL speed, hasn't played in 2 seasons. Absolutely right. You cannot emulate the speed of the NFL game in practice. No matter how much you practice, how many preseason reps you gain, you cannot emulate regular season. You can't. That's why in first week of most games, people cramp up because you can't emulate that. It is what it is. But guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be in tomorrow, 7 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com and facebook.com, 7 p.m. East Coast time. Guys, tune in, enjoy, share it with a couple friends, like it as well. Combs will be back to talk about her horrific power rankings tomorrow. And we might have a special guest. Haven't quite decided yet. See you guys tomorrow.